Switch it up. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 196 of the Shower Podcast, the podcast where I'm in my shower and you do you. I'm your host, Chip, and have you ever considered that the same activities placed in different orders could lead to completely different outcomes? Neither did I, but after experiencing it, I'm here to share it with you and tell you that maybe it's not that bad of an idea. Before we start, as usual, if you end up liking this episode, leaving a like and subscribing really mean a lot. They're just one click, but they really make the difference. Thank you very much. So, let's start with the inspiration, shall we? One of the most difficult things since episode 100-ish, more or less, has been the creation of the thumbnails for these episodes. I took it as a personal challenge, mostly because I realized that I was getting very good at optimizing the recording and just publishing the episode. If I had the idea in mind, it wasn't that difficult to go ahead and produce, let's say, the whole project. And out of itself, that is great. But I didn't like just the idea of having starting thumbnails with just the number changing. It reduced, let's say, the power that, each episode could have. And with the evolution that was presented by OpenAI regarding their models on image creation, they started to be actually usable for creating text and images, and maybe the combination of two. Therefore, the creation of the thumbnails. Problem is that usually the idea for the thumbnail comes with the episode, and most of the times the idea for the episode comes only at the end of the day. So I am kind of forced in a way, and I use quotes for forced because I will explain it in a second. But let's say that for the last 2 months or even more, the drill has been that whenever I get the moment, I record the episode, I go edit it, and after it's edited, I go and create the thumbnail. Problem is that, as I just told you, the creation of the episode became really fast, whereas the creation of the images is still relatively slow. And sometimes, even if the idea is good, the creation takes a few iterations until I am satisfied with it. So it creates these gaps where, it feels a bit off, and sometimes I am forced to either postpone the episode or just find an alternative solution because, the thumbnail is just not ready. On the other hand, yesterday, I got the chance that I knew what I wanted to talk about, and I also had some spare moments around the day. I mean, most of the day I am in front of the computer working. So the creation in the end, is just sending the prompt and seeing the results. And meanwhile, the thing is creating, you don't have to pay attention to it. So I decided, let me switch it up. So let me first create the thumbnails so that when I create the episode and I record it and I edit it, I'm able to do everything and complete the whole task relatively quickly. I mean, compared to what I was doing before, now that the thumbnail is ready, it's a matter of just adding it to the whole process and I'm done. But then I realized this process, just by switching it up, got stress-free, faster, and overall more enjoyable. So I was like, is this something that's actually applicable also outside of the context of the podcast? I mean, in the end, it's something that could make sense, no? And then I started realizing that indeed there are a lot of moments in life in which, paradoxically, the same action, the same thing, that just doing it in a reverse order or just by moving things around becomes actually easy. And the image for today, and something that I think most of you might have seen, but if you haven't, it's pretty simple. It's kind of a kid's game, but I mean, it can get more difficult. But it's a small puzzle in which you have a square. And within this square, there are kind of strange geometries that are arranged in that square. And you can see that there is a spot that is free. What they tell you is that by rearranging the pieces, the exact same pieces you have there, you will be able to complete the whole surface of the square without leaving any gaps. And at first you try, you experiment with one thing, you experiment with the other. And I think this is just us naturally trying to build up a routine. You put one thing in the morning, one thing in the evening, maybe you connect one to the other because it creates less gaps. And overall, by trying and experimenting, you will end up arriving at that solution in which everything is laid out. you have completed the surface of the square, and overall you have optimized what you had at your hand by using the same exact pieces you had. Therefore, I wanted to share this with you and mostly make you understand that don't question immediately the tools that you have. Don't question immediately the things that you have just based on the current outcome. Because it might be that somewhere, in some way, there is a pattern that you haven't experimented with, that you haven't seen, that might lead you to success. Specifically, to a course of action and to a feeling that makes you feel better, it makes you feel more confident, and overall helps you and maybe even frees up time within your day. Even though, again, the single sum of the activities will stay exactly the same. But at the end of the day, our days and any kind of thing that we do is not just exclusive. It's not one thing, another, and another. They are not disconnected. They are tied to one another, and if you connect it the right way, you'll be able to find success. Having said that, that was all for today. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you liked also today's imagery and idea. And if you did, please remember that liking and subscribing really mean a lot. Also, if you're on Spotify, feel free to leave a comment as always. And we're getting closer to episode 200, so stay tuned. Until the next one, as usual, stay consistent, stay resilient. This was the Shower Podcast, and see you tomorrow.